You are listening to Larry Conners, USA.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Larry Conners USA. Larry Conners USA.
I woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Mama always said I'd be the chosen one.
Hey! What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey! Get down!
It was just that fast. This is April 22nd, 2021. In a matter of 11 seconds, that's what you're listening to, 11 seconds, from the time a Columbus police officer, Nicholas Reardon, responded to a 911 call. When he arrived, there were several teens out in the yard, kind of pushing and shoving, and one of them had a knife. And that had been part of the 911 call. I'll let you hear it in just a moment. But the officer saw the one girl, 16-year-old Makia Bryant. She had the knife in her hand. She wasn't not just dropping it. She was raising it to attack another young girl. But many of the news reports that came out yesterday really ignored what was happening at the moment the officer fired the shot. And, of course, everyone's rushing in. You killed a girl. You killed a girl, a little girl. Do you think the officer went there with the intent to kill anyone? Anyone. And when he saw that situation going down, he's got his pistol out already. She's got the knife in her hand, and she's now raising it to hit another girl. And Ari apparently either tried to stab another or maybe had inflicted one wound. There's been some confusion still over that. But when the 911 call came through, the police, of course, doing their duty, responding. Listen.
Tonight, the city of Columbus releasing two 911 calls that prompted their response Tuesday afternoon.
Talk to me. We got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put our hands on our grandma. Get here now.
Get here now. Somebody's trying to stab us. Now, police did not identify who was actually making the call. Some are insisting it was the young girl who was shot, that she was calling for help, and then she got a knife to protect herself against others. There was a second 911 call, and apparently, according to police, it was a quick hang-up because they arrived at that moment when that call was underway. There are a lot of details to sort through, and it's the details, of course, that become critical, not the mass brush state-controlled media rushes forward, and many rushing forward on a judgment. We got a white officer, we got a black kid, and it has to be the officer's fault. If he hadn't fired the shot, there was no doubt looking at the video. And I'll put it up later today on Larry Conners USA Facebook as it came direct from the police department. So you don't have to go through any filtration of any state-controlled media. If he had not fired the shot, the 16-year-old he did shoot had raised it. She was attacking another girl within easy reach of her arm. Now, if she had been the one to make the call and then she came out and she's trying to put a stop and he pulls up while she's trying to break things up and get the score even or what, who knows? We don't have all that yet. But at that moment, she either didn't hear or refused to respond. Now, we talked about this before, this auditory blockage sometimes in these things, even for trained police officers. Say if I come up on an incident, I see things underway, and I'm going to save someone, they're going to try to kill someone else. I pull out my pistol. The officer comes on the scene. He sees me with a pistol, and he's hollering, drop it, drop it. If I don't drop it right away, I might be in the same situation as this young girl is. But it's still a tragedy. There's no way around it. We're going to have a lot of details on that coming up. And, of course, it happened the same day Derek Chauvin was convicted on all counts. White House Jen Psaki speaking out for Biden, calling it a tragedy. I agree. NBA superstar LeBron James went to Twitter with a message some say is a threat to kill police officers. We'll break that down for you. In fact, we've got a lot to deal with this story. So much we're going to have to spread it over 2 hours and take bits and pieces of it. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's what we're going to have to do. We also had Democrats rushing to make D.C. a state. The House already voting forward to do so. The Senate Probably won't happen, but they're trying. John Kerry, Biden's climate energy czar, says even if U.S. and China went to zero emissions, if we and China went to zero emissions today, it wouldn't be enough to save our planet. Well, then what the hell are we worried about? We'll get into that. And more concerned about COVID. There are reports of some fake vaccines going around. Who's getting them? What's being done to pull them off and make sure the proper vaccines are given? And then, of course, should we start vaccinating children? At what age? And for that matter, what about children wearing masks? Should children really be wearing masks on a continuous basis? We've got a lot to cover, as I said. Let your friends and neighbors know we're on the air. Lock and load. Ready. On the right.
You can hear podcasts of this program at Larry Connors USA Facebook. Larry Connors USA Facebook.